been very traumatic for all of us in that office.
Tonight, a Utah community is trying to heal after a boy was hit by a suspected drunk driver. Hear from one man who tried to save the boy's life.
4 new planes coming to the Provo airport this fall. What a new Allegiant base means for local travelers.
Tracking spring showers here across northern Utah lets you know what you can expect for the timing of a stronger storm and if the weather will impact your weekend plans.
Is this something rotten or dead or somewhere, so we didn't know what it is.
After years of a foul smell in West Valley City, there's now a conclusion to a lawsuit between the city and a waste company. It's a story you will only see on Fox 13 News.
A strong push to bring the Olympics back to the state of Utah. What's taking place this week to move the steps forward?
Live from Utah's news leader, Fox 13 News at 9 starts right now.
Tonight, a memorial is growing at the intersection in West Jordan where 13-year-old Eli Mitchell was killed on his bike in a hit-and-run crash last night.
Eli went to go get a treat around 6 p.m. It was when he was riding his bike home. Police say 50-year-old Mason Andrew Ohms hit him and left him dying in the street.
Fox 13 News reporter Emily Tenser joins us tonight with how police tracked down Ohms with the help of what a witness saw. Emily.
Bob Kelly, an Army staff sergeant, was coming home from work at the West Jordan recruiting station, and he was stopped at this intersection. He watched as the truck hit Eli, then sped off. He used his training to jump in and try and save the boy's life.
At the corner of 1510 West and 9000 South, balloons, flowers, and video games mark the spot where 13-year-old Eli Mitchell waited Tuesday night before biking into the crosswalk and getting hit by a truck.
The mood in the office has been pretty shaken.
This is Sergeant First Class Randall Allred with the West Jordan Army recruiting station. He didn't see the hit and run happen, but his supervisor did and performed CPR until responders arrived.
We offered as much help as we could, and so unfortunately sometimes that's not enough.
Witness video shows the Chevy pickup driving back east just moments after. Allred says the driver actually drove into their parking lot to get rid of the bike.
We saw him remove the bicycle, and one of my other recruiters followed the individual, calling the police and giving a description of the vehicle and license plate and everything and trying to follow him.
That staff sergeant lost the driver, but officers located him later all the way down in Saratoga Springs. Wednesday morning, soldiers returned with candles and balloons and started the memorial to honor Eli.
We're all here supporting the family of the boy, and we are all terribly sorry for this horrific incident that happened.
In a statement shared by Eli's grandfather, Eli's parents expressed gratitude to the bystanders who tried to revive Eli, along with the service of West Jordan PD and paramedics. They write that they are forever grateful to the many unknown individuals who tried to assist him and recognize this likely had an impact on them. Randall says all the parents that live and work nearby hurt for the Mitchell family.
I originally grew up here. I walked on these streets, and now my children are here. And so all of us have been kind of doing this little internal self-reflection of what if it was me? What if it was my child?
Eli's grandfather says Eli died doing what he loves, riding bikes and having treats. He also loved snowboarding, riding ATVs, and reading. Oftentimes, adults had to look up the words that he used. His family says Eli was an organ donor, and they hope others will benefit from this tragedy. Reporting live in West Jordan, Emily Tenser, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Emily, Fox 13 News spoke exclusively with another witness who pulled out his phone to get video of the truck as it drove away last night. That ultimately helped West Jordan police locate the driver, 50-year-old Mason Ohms, and arrest him. Court documents show that an officer could smell alcohol on the suspect's breath before his arrest.
If it were to happen again, I'd do it again. It was a human in need, and regardless of the situation, I needed to be there.
Ohms has been booked into the Salt Lake County Jail on automobile homicide and hit-and-run charges. Court records show Ohms had 12 alcohol incidents related to moving vehicles on his record dating back to 1994.
West Jordan Middle School, where Eli was a student, shared a statement today saying in part, quote, "Eli is a beloved member of our school and will be dearly missed. Our hearts are with Eli's family, friends, and loved ones at this difficult time." Counselors will continue to be on hand at the school. If you or your child need additional support, download the Safe UT app. It connects you to licensed counselors. The program is confidential.
New at 9, a man has been arrested in connection to a shooting along I-15 in Juab County. Now, this happened back in November of last year. According to documents, 19-year-old Adam Lloyd Geen from Goshen now faces 7 counts of felony discharge of a firearm, 5 counts of criminal mischief, and 1 count of possession of a deadly weapon with intent to assault. Officials believe Adam randomly opened fire on several vehicles traveling between Nephi and Scipio. 4 vehicles were hit by bullets. 2 people were shot, but not seriously injured.
Funeral plans have been announced for the late Utah Senator Orrin Hatch, who died last weekend surrounded by his family in Salt Lake City. He will lie in state in the Utah State Capitol Rotunda next Wednesday, May 4th, from 2 to 8 p.m. On Friday, May 6th, funeral services will take place at 1 o'clock at the Institute of Religion of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints on the University of Utah campus. Both events are open to the public.
Putting friendship above politics. Today, Utah Senator Mitt Romney spoke on the Senate floor honoring late Senator Orrin Hatch. And while the late senator had many political accomplishments, Senator Romney said his sense of humor was well known in the chamber.
His friends often remarked that Orrin could have been a stand-up comic if he wanted to, but he had too many important things to do to take that job seriously. Orrin Hatch played a pivotal role in several landmark confirmations while serving as one of the longest chairs of the Senate Judiciary Committee. His positive impact on the state of Utah and the nation's federal judiciary cannot be overstated.
Romney was elected to the seat vacated by Senator Hatch when he retired back in 2019.
Allegiant Air is growing and will soon make the Provo Municipal Airport the hub for its 4-plane fleet.
The company is investing big bucks, also creating new jobs. Fox 13 News reporter Jenna Bree explains what the investment means to that small local airport.
From its modest beginnings,
The airport's been here a very long time, back prior to World War II, just kind of a beet farm airstrip.
to now, the Provo Airport is an Allegiant asset.
Over the last year through COVID, the Provo Mesa Pear City was the highest performing route for Allegiant in all of their entire network across the country.
Brian Torgerson says the airport has been working with the airline on this project for months.
With Allegiant announcing a base here in Provo, it means they're coming to stay. It's not just an airport that they're passing through to their next dollar, right? So they're investing a lot of time and effort and resources here in Provo and making Provo a home.
Allegiant has been flying planes out of Provo since 2013. Destinations range from Los Angeles to Tampa and Phoenix. As for any new destinations being added with this new base, that's still a mystery.
They're being pretty tight-lipped about that still. They haven't even told me about it.
There are a couple of destinations travelers would like to see added.
We always get asked about Las Vegas, right? That's one that a lot of people are excited about.
Although this base is huge for Provo, Torgerson says they're still not Salt Lake International, and they never will be.
The huge difference for Provo and what we're proud of is the convenience here. You can see our parking lots steps away from the building. Once you get in the building, you're steps away from the gate.
Allegiant expects these new base operations to begin on November 16th. In Provo, Jenna Bree, Fox 13 News, Utah.
By the way, Provo's new terminal will be completed by the end of next week. The Utah legislature committed $13.3 million to the new building in 2019. Allegiant's new base will operate out of that new terminal.
Another mild day here across the state. Allison, are we going to be getting warmer weather? It could go either way at this point.
Yes, well, tomorrow will be warmer again. We do have some spring showers in the forecast. We're still seeing a few areas of very light rain here across northern Utah. Did have a few thunderstorms that occurred in southern Idaho and near the Idaho border this afternoon, but really most of what we've been seeing today is a lot of clouds and comfortable temperatures and wind. The wind has died down, but right now temperatures here across the state still in the 50s and 60s. So what can you expect when you wake up tomorrow morning? Clouds again, temperatures near 50 here in Salt Lake City by 9 a.m. close to 60 degrees. And we're going to have another warm day tomorrow into the 70s. So we'll have cloudy sky. Your wind will be about 10 to 20 miles per hour. And we have a chance for some valley rain and mountain snowfall late in the day tomorrow into Friday. We're also going to see a pretty big cool down into Friday here across northern Utah. How low those temperatures will drop and what you can expect for the rest of the weekend.
Recently, we were given funding through the Utah legislature to replace one of the older aging helicopters, as well as add a third helicopter to the fleet.
Where that new DPS helicopter will go and how soon it will be there. Coming up.
And a Utah homeless camp littered with garbage could take days to clean up. Still to come, how the project is hard for those living there and the people removing the items.
And a casual dress day with a big significance. We'll show you why government leaders and police officers came to work in jeans today.
A big announcement for central Utah. Bloomberg News reports the Biden administration is planning to spend $500 million to finance a facility to convert renewable energy into hydrogen. The plant is a big economic boost for Millard County. It is expected to be operating by 2025.
A team from the Weber Fire District is among the hundreds of firefighters trying to get the Crooks Fire under control near Prescott, Arizona. It has burned more than 8,000 acres now. The rugged terrain and recent high winds are posing challenges. Crews lost ground on containment Monday, but have made some progress since then.
Navajo Nation President Jonathan Nez is seeking re-election. He filed to run again today, touting his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and infrastructure improvements. Nez does have challengers, however. 4 people so far have filed to run for Nation president. Right now, if you became stranded anywhere in central Utah, southern Utah, and you needed a Department of Public Safety helicopter to come get you, you'd have to wait at least 2 hours.
That's how long it takes a DPS helicopter to fly from Salt Lake to southern Utah once it's in the air. But come July 1st, a new DPS helicopter will be stationed in St. George, which will reduce response times dramatically and most likely save lives. It's something that not only DPS and UHP have been pushing for, but southern Utah sheriffs and other law enforcement as well.
Just recently, last week, we had a helicopter respond on a mission. They located the injured party, and the person was in pretty rough shape physically. And they felt the best option was to fly them directly to the hospital, which isn't our normal practice. Typically, we would transport them to an ambulance and they would take them by ground. But this individual was in dire condition, and so they flew them immediately to the hospital.
Major Mason says they're in southern Utah several times a week right now. Starting in July, they anticipate calls for service will increase even more with this new helicopter stationed so close by.
It is that time of year to get out and explore all of Utah's beauty. Just do it safely. Yeah, with the warmer weather, it's noticeable how many more people are out running, walking, riding bikes.
Yes, especially on days where you have 70s for a couple of days in a row. Yeah, we do have a cool down on Friday, though, so we're back into the 50s briefly to start the weekend. But today, cloudy in the 70s, a little breezy out there, beautiful sunset. Take a look at your screen. I know you're probably getting ready for bed right now, but if you could peek out that beautiful sunset, just enjoy that for a second. Thanks so much to Stephanie for sending that in right near the Great Salt Lake. And here's what it looks like right now up in the mountains. So this is Deer Valley facing down towards Jordanelle. You can see Highway 40 off in the distance. Then way further out, we've got the Uintas, but a little bit of snow continuing to melt up in the mountains, becoming pretty muddy on the trail. miles. But as we look at satellite and radar, we also have a few areas of some light rain coming down, mostly near I-80 just north of Dugway, but across the state this evening, across northern Utah, we've got that possibility for a few isolated showers, but nothing that's going to be too widespread or problematic. The rest of the night here in Salt Lake will be in the 50s for much of the evening. And then tomorrow our wind is really going to pick up. When you wake up, 6, 7, 8 a.m., not a whole lot wind-wise here across Utah. It starts to pick up late morning tomorrow across southwest Utah. Then take a look at your screen right now. Tomorrow, 5:30 p.m., much of I-15 Utah County all the way into Washington County and I-70 clear across Utah. We're going to see some wind gusts around 35 to 45 miles per hour. That's what you're seeing in the red. So the rest of the state in yellow, down towards the Four Corners, the rest of the Wasatch Front, Cache, Weber, Davis counties, you're looking at breezes about 25 to 35 miles per hour. We'll continue with some wind at times through Friday afternoon, and our temperatures tomorrow morning will rise into the 60s at 10 a.m. But you'll have the cloudy start to your day tomorrow. And then we're going to end up with those overnight temps just really comfortable tomorrow morning. By Saturday morning, that's going to be a reality check. We are going to drop cool here across the state Friday night into Saturday morning. But for Thursday morning, we have a couple more days to get through before we're at the weekend. Nice mild start, very similar to the last few days. Highs tomorrow into the low 70s with cloudy sky, wind about 10 to 20 miles per hour. And then for Thursday at 4 p.m., near 70 for Price, Provo, Eagle Mountain, Tooele, Salt Lake, Ogden. And then our windiest conditions will be in southern Utah. So we're going to have potentially some blowing dust tomorrow. We could end up with some areas of valley rain and mountain snowfall also. A somewhat active 7-day forecast. That chance of precipitation here in Salt Lake City starts to go up Thursday night into Friday, but you'll notice it's not likely. It's just scattered chances here in Salt Lake City for Thursday night and Friday. So that means some of you will see precipitation, but not all of you. And then we head into Sunday day. We're back to that widely scattered to scattered area, but we're going to have that chance at least. Isolated mostly chances for some rain Saturday night into the middle of next week. So for St. George, you're in the 80s tomorrow. Sunny this weekend. Sunny and 85 for St. George. Really nice there, but tomorrow's windy. And then we look at northern Utah, Salt Lake. We have mid-50s on Friday, so we're going to have quite the cool down. 66 for Saturday, 60 on Sunday. Will cool down second half of the day. Could see a chance for some evening showers. Again, by next Tuesday, a little cool down with a chance for some rain. We'll talk more about this active pattern coming up later in the hour.
Thanks, Allison. It is a struggle for so many Utahns right now, finding and then affording a place to call home. How this month is putting extra emphasis on a fair market.
And you wouldn't necessarily call it a medical tool, but this new jet is saving lives. We'll show you how it's helping our community.
Just into the Fox 13 newsroom, a juvenile is recovering right now after nearly drowning at a private indoor pool in Murray. Now, Murray police say the teen was swimming with other teens. He is breathing on his own, however, was taken to Primary Children's Hospital just to be checked out as a precaution.
Finding affordable and accessible housing is getting more difficult, which is why today Salt Lake City and community partners recommitted to helping those in need find fair housing. Tony Milner, Director of Housing Stability for the city, shared with Fox 13 News how growth is making it even more difficult to find housing for those with disabilities.
With Salt Lake growing so fast, being one of the #1 spots in America that's growing year after year, plus the increasing housing prices, it's just further compounding the issues for people with disabilities looking for housing and affordable housing. So it's up to us to make sure that we're getting the word out.
Mayor Erin Mendenhall says residents are feeling the pressure of growth from traffic to construction and even air pollution. She says the city government is trying to harness that growth.
From becoming a barber to a doctor, Sand Springs Elementary School, that's in the Davis School District, wanted their students to be able to see they have options. Today in West Layton, they held a career vehicle parade. This is new to me, but a very cool idea, very unique. It's part of the elementary's college and career readiness curriculum. Vehicles from different professions paid the school a visit.
I just want them to realize how many different careers there are out there and that there's a career for their skill set and interests.
There was a cement truck from Geneva Rock, a Humvee from Hill Air Force Base, also a police car, a fire truck, an ambulance. That's a really cool race car. So many more as well.
You can smell this practically across the whole geographic expanse of the city.
A lawsuit over a foul stench that plagues West Valley City ends in a settlement.
We get so many cyber tips. We're getting them from everywhere.
We all know talking to strangers online comes with risks, but experts say online predators are more aggressive than ever. We'll share with parents some tips on how to talk to your kids about this very real issue.
Well, maybe some relief in sight, Bob. The end may be near for a smelly situation in West Valley City.
A lawsuit over a nasty stench in one of Utah's largest cities has been settled. Fox 13 News political reporter Ben Winslow has the story you'll only see right here.
We are going to see a light at the end of this tunnel.
It's been an issue that's plagued West Valley City residents and businesses for years. A terrible stench that would drift into neighborhoods, especially on hot and windy days.
Is this something rotten or dead or somewhere? So we didn't know what it is, you know. Yeah, that is all about it. It was not good.
You can smell this practically across the whole geographic expanse of the city.
West Valley City collected complaints from residents, then took ET Technologies to court in 2020. They accused the biosolid waste company of violating environmental laws and not doing enough to mitigate the smell, which would drift in from near the Salt Lake County landfill. The city argued it was impacting the quality of life for residents. In court, the company argued that while residents may have smelt it, they couldn't prove ET Technologies dealt it. The company also claimed the city was suing an entity outside its jurisdiction. Now, a settlement has been reached. Under the terms of the agreement, ET Technologies will close its facility and pay West Valley City $750,000. Where they go, West Valley City's manager doesn't care.
All I care is that this problem that we've been dealing with for a long time, it's been a very egregious sort of a problem for our residents, is at an end. And I really appreciate the fact that we are able to get to this settlement.
Residents may still have to deal with another few summers of the smell. The agreement gives ET Technologies up to 5 years to move. In West Valley City, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.
ET Technologies did not have an immediate comment beyond confirming the settlement to Fox 13 News.
Intermountain Healthcare has a new long-range jet that can transport patients for specialized medical care quickly and, of course, more efficiently as well. It has reportedly already saved one boy's life. 6-year-old Ezra Partridge needed specialized treatment after his heart stopped. The cardiologist who could provide that was 1,500 miles away in Houston, Texas.
LifeFlight exists for one reason and one reason only, and that's to take care of the people in our community. And this aircraft allows us to take that to a higher level.
In one word, hope. It was the only chance for my son to possibly survive.
Wow, amazing tool. The plane can also be used to quickly send transplant organs to where they're needed. And in many instances with these surgeries, time is critical.
Today was Denim Day, where people were encouraged to wear denim to support survivors of sexual assault. The day began in Italy in 1998 when the Supreme Court there overturned a rape conviction because the victim was wearing tight jeans. Outraged by the ruling, women in the Italian parliament arrived the next day all wearing denim to protest the ruling and to show solidarity with the victim.
They knew that consent isn't about what you're wearing, right? There's never an excuse to rape, and so that's why we continually observe this day.
The Utah Coalition Against Sexual Assault held an event at the state capitol today to raise awareness and try to end the cycle of sexual violence in society.
More frequent and more aggressive. That's how internet crimes against children experts describe online predators.
But as Fox 13 News reporter Eliana Sheriff explains, parents can arm themselves and their children with knowledge.
The trend is changing. They're being more aggressive. I mean, as you know, we've had 3 in the past month where they've actually taken them out of their homes.
The latest case out of Spanish Fork Monday. After talking online for 2 months, police say a 17-year-old suspect met a 12-year-old girl in real life, picking up the girl at 4 in the morning and allegedly kidnapping and sexually assaulting her.
You've got to monitor your kids, talk to them about predators.
Experts with the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force say this is happening all across Utah. Not just that, they say these interactions are becoming more frequent, with online predators becoming more aggressive.
1 in 5 kids is sexually solicited online, according to the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. And with more apps comes more access to kids. There's not one specific platform predators use: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, even Pinterest.
They're using everything. So access is pretty easy to our kids, and we've got to be aware of that. Parents need to know how all these things work as well. I mean, if their kids are on an app, I always encourage them to download that app and see how it works.
Michelle says it's not just young girls that are victims. She says specifically with the rise of sextortion cases, more and more young boys are coming forward.
I always tell parents, make sure that you're talking to your kids, not threatening, not saying I'm going to take everything away, because unfortunately, I mean, that'll backfire, you know, and then if and when something does happen, they don't feel comfortable coming to their parent.
In Salt Lake City, Eliana Sheriff, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Spanish Fork police are continuing their investigation into yesterday's alleged kidnapping and sexual assault. The 17-year-old male suspect was booked into a Utah County Youth Detention Center on charges of child kidnapping, vehicle theft, obstruction of justice, false personal information, no driver license, and no insurance. The alleged sexual assault is still being investigated. Fox 13 News confirmed the teen suspect is well known to law enforcement.
I've never seen this many people up here, and I've never seen it this trashed. It definitely needed to be cleaned up.
A massive homeless camp is cleaned up along Victory Road just north of the state capitol.
And coming up, I'm tracking some spring showers here across northern Utah, what you can expect for your morning commute.
A massive homeless camp near the Utah State Capitol is still being cleaned up, and it'll take at least the next few days to remove the tons of trash, debris, and hazardous waste in a site that is too difficult to reach.
Fox 13 News reporter Spencer Joseph was taken there today, and tonight he shows us how days like this are tough for not only those living at the camp, for those people as well who are cleaning it up.
This day, this kind of work isn't anybody's favorite work. I don't think anybody on the health department team or any of our partners enjoy doing this work. But it's something we recognize that has to be done to protect our environment for all Salt Lake County residents.
It's a difficult day for all involved along Victory Road, as a homeless camp stretching far up into the mountainside is cleaned up and torn down.
So this is a frequent campsite for unsheltered people in our community. We've conducted a cleanup of about this scale 8 times in the last 11 years.
But this site has become so bad, the county says there was no other option.
The waste would amount to a point where it's really insurmountable, and we would be affecting our natural environment to a pretty severe degree.
I mean, I've been out here for a while, so I'm kind of used to it.
But for those like Sydney Collingwood,
But it sucks bouncing around constantly.
And her dog, Spring.
He was abandoned up here. Someone left him out here in a snow blizzard.
This isn't easy.
Stressful, overwhelming. It sucks not knowing where you're gonna go.
But she too recognizes the health hazard this camp poses.
I've never seen this many people up here, and I've never seen it this trashed. It definitely needed to be cleaned up.
But it's more than that. the location being so close to the Capitol, she feels is conflicting.
They drive up there, this road to go to the Capitol to work and stuff, and when they see all that, doesn't make them want to give more funding to, for resources and stuff when they see all this.
And Sydney is one of those hoping to get housing.
So I'm hoping that maybe I can get into somewhere with that testing or something.
But for many,
some will and many will not.
They don't accept the help.
Many of the folks living here are choosing to live outdoors. They're choosing to live outside our normal social system, our social structure.
Crews will be working through the rest of the week, taking load after load down the steep mountainside. But one thing is clear, this is not a solution to the bigger problem.
Cleaning up these environmental hazards on a periodic basis is not a solution to homelessness. It doesn't solve this societal problem we have.
Spencer Joseph, Fox 13 News, Utah.
We are ready to host the games.
The International Olympic Committee visiting the state of Utah, what they're looking for to maybe bring the games back here.
Coming up in sports, a Jazz assistant coach was arrested on a multi-million-dollar fraud scheme. And in better Jazz news, Donovan Mitchell answered the question if he'll play tomorrow in Game 6 after injuring his leg in Game 5.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Fox 13 News at 9.
You're welcome.
A date here every night we have, right? Utah's Weather Authority, Allison Krogan, will have your forecast in just a few minutes. I am so glad you are here, especially.
Really? Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Well, this is a big week in Utah for those hoping to bring the Olympic Games back here to the Beehive State.
It could happen. Fox 13 News anchor Brian Schnee spoke with Olympians, also the Salt Lake City, Utah Committee of the Games, about this week's visit by the International Olympic Committee.
We think Utah is probably the best place in the world to host Winter Olympic Games.
The push continues from the Salt Lake City, Utah Committee for the Games to bring the Olympics back to Utah.
The IOC is in town to conduct a technical review of all of our venues to see what's in place and what's not. Fortunately, in Utah, we have everything in place. Our venues are gorgeous, beginning right here with Rice-Eccles Stadium.
The International Olympic Committee's technical visit starts on Wednesday, where they'll visit Vivint Arena, Rice-Eccles Stadium, and the Athlete Village at the University of Utah. Then over the following days, they'll head to Snow Basin, visit venues in Park City, Provo, and West Valley City.
All the venues are within a 1-hour driving distance of the village here. We have a fantastic proposal for the IOC.
What sets Salt Lake City and Utah apart from maybe the rest of the world is that a lot of their O2 event centers, such as the Olympic Oval, are operational and in use.
O2 Olympic speed skater Derek Parra teaches the next generation of skaters in the very same venue where he won gold.
It's very exciting. I wasn't part of that process at all in the games leading to 2002. So to be here now, see what goes on in our building every day, how we're engaging the youth in our community, and knowing there may be a possible games coming, I'm ready for it. We're ready for it.
Fresh off the 2022 Olympics in Beijing, Big Air silver medalist Colby Stevenson would love to see the games back in Utah.
I think another games in Utah would honestly be better than a lot of other places in the whole world. Just because we have the mountains, we have the facilities, we have the snow. After going to China, it was just like, I can't believe there's a Winter Olympics going on here. I mean, there's no natural snow. It was freezing cold. It just didn't seem like the right environment for us to, perform at our best.
Stevenson moved to Utah in 2001 and got to witness part of the O2 games.
If we do have another one here, it will be top tier, and it will be, one of those Olympics that we all remember because it was so epic.
The Salt Lake Committee says the bidding process is continuous, starting with submitting information in the summer. They expect a venue announcement from the IOC in May of 2023.
We are ready to host the games. It's just not if, it's when, and hopefully it's 2030.
In Salt Lake City, Brian Schnee, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Oh, yeah, they're coming back. They're coming back. Well, 2 high-octane events are back in Utah, and crews are getting Rice-Eccles Stadium ready.
They are. That's some very important dirt right there. 26 million pounds of it was hauled in, all to build the tracks needed for both Monster Jam and round 17 of the Monster Energy Supercross World Championship.
World Championship.
There we go. That's the sound effect I needed. did. Feld Motorsports says the event has come a long way over the past 25 years.
When I first started, the monster trucks, we were just jumping over a couple cars. And really, we weren't really jumping them, it was more just driving over them. We're jumping everything, we're backflipping. Everything's just getting bigger, bigger, and better.
Audience, the crowd loves it. It's crazy.
Monster Jam!
The Monster Jam is set for this Saturday at Rice-Eccles Stadium. The Supercross World Championship race will take place next Saturday, same place, Rice-Eccles, on May 7th.
Hopefully those of us who are going to this Saturday's event won't need an umbrella.
Yes, no, Saturday night you're going to be fine.
Good.
You're going to need an umbrella.
What for?
From the dirt.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, might need like a little windshield on your face. Well, this is a beautiful sunset tonight. So what we're tracking from Barbie, beautiful sunset. She said a little bit of rain had just come through the Ogden Valley. Beautiful. You can see the mountains up in the distance. But Salt Lake City right now, 67 degrees. We do have our wind out of the north at about 10 miles per hour currently. But when you wake up tomorrow morning, you'll see mostly cloudy sky here along the Wasatch Front. So it'll be another cloudy start, near 50 degrees early tomorrow morning. By 10 a.m., you're back into the 60s. But tonight, could see a few sprinkles on your windshield. Speaking of windshields, driving home this evening or if you're headed out for a graveyard shift, we do have a little bit of rain moving through mostly Tooele County, but not a whole lot, nothing that's going to really cause any problems. But what we're going to be tracking for you into tomorrow will be a lot of wind. It's still breezy right now from Lake Powell over towards Kanab, Colorado City into lower Washington County. Overnight temps right around 45 to 50 for Price, Provo, Eagle Mountain. For Tooele, Salt Lake, and Ogden tomorrow morning near 50 degrees. St. George close to 60 when you first wake up. Your forecast at a glance for tomorrow calls for temperatures close to 70 for Provo, Ogden, and Salt Lake City with cloudy sky. Wind will be about 10 to 20 miles per hour, and that will pick up during the afternoon. We could see some wind gusts close to about 25 to 35 miles per hour. For central and southern Utah, St. George 83, Richfield 71, Cedar City tomorrow close to 70 with wind. And for eastern Utah, Moab 81, Price 73, Vernal 74 degrees. Overnight, we'll keep the clouds scattered here across Utah. 4 a.m., we'll still see a few showers up near the Wyoming border. Then we're going to continue with a better chance for some rain to develop here in the valleys late Thursday into early Friday. So by Friday morning, we could still see a little bit of snow up in the mountains, just tracking a couple of inches of snow as a possibility. Then we'll continue into Friday afternoon, a great start to the weekend. By Saturday night, you're dry, but by Sunday night, that's when we're going to have another weak system brushing by. So rain projection over the next 48 hours, which most of this will be Thursday night into early Friday. We're tracking all areas of green. That is less than about a quarter inch of rain. So not a whole lot. A lot of this is closer to about 1/10 of an inch of rain. Better than nothing, but not great. For St. George, you're close to 80 degrees Thursday and Friday. 85 for Saturday and Sunday with sunshine, and then we'll keep you close to 80 to 85 into the middle of next week. Here in Salt Lake City, we're going to have a cool down on Friday. Take a look at that, 55 degrees. 66 for Saturday, 60 for Sunday, and then we'll continue with that roller coaster with our next cool down and grazing storm by next Tuesday.
One day before a crucial Game 6 against the Dallas Mavericks, Jazz star Donovan Mitchell answered a big question today following a scare in Game 5. Here's Fox 13's Morgan Vance.
The Mavs managed to win 2 out of 3 without their best player, and for a while there, it looked as if the Jazz might have to win 2 straight without theirs. How healthy Donovan Mitchell will be for tomorrow's Game 6 is not entirely known, but he did say this afternoon.
It's good. I'm thankful that it was negative. I'll be ready to go tomorrow.
Of course, the fear at first on Monday was a hamstring tear.
Donovan Mitchell rubbing on that left leg as this thing goes from bad to worse for Utah.
Right side, left side, 2 on the left, 1 on the right. But I told y'all after the game I was going to play. So as long as it wasn't the hamstring, that was my biggest thing. Because when I went up, it's exactly what I felt was in the hammy. And knock on wood, I've never had a hamstring injury before. So I was nervous, but MRI came back negative, and it told us what we already knew, which was the contusion.
If this wasn't the month of April, perhaps things would be different. But with the threat of a first-round exit looming, it's all hands on deck.
Injuries are part of the game, unfortunately, and it sucks to see guys out, from Book, Middleton. There are others that I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but so it's just a matter of, just taking care of your body, whatever that means for each individual. Everybody's different.
But even with number 45 on the floor, they'll need to shoot a mile better than just 10% from the three-point line to have any chance of surviving into a Game 7.
They took care of home court, and that's how you can look at it. We didn't shoot well, and you kind of take the film and flush that one away. I don't want to go home. I don't think any of us want to go home. I think that's the biggest thing. Ultimately, all you can do at the end of the day is just compete with all you got, and play like there's no tomorrow, because at the end of the day, tomorrow is not promised.
Game 6 is a late one, 8 o'clock on a weeknight, but I am certain this place right here will be deafening. From the Viv, Morgan Vance, Fox 13 Sports.
Jazz assistant coach Keon Dooling was arrested today and added to a criminal case in which 18 former NBA players were charged with illegally taking millions of dollars by defrauding the league's health and welfare benefit plan. Dooling joined the Jazz coaching staff in 2020, played 13 seasons in the NBA before working for the NBA Players Union. The Jazz said in a statement that it's the case concerning his time at the National Basketball Players Association prior to him joining our organization. He's been put on paid administrative leave. Due to the ongoing legal process, we will refrain from further comment. They said they found out today when he told them about all the problems he was having. So
That's a distraction.
Today. Yeah.
Donovan sounds and looks so focused, doesn't he?
They got to be. I mean, you really got to win tomorrow night.
It's the only option.
I mean, you really got to try to get it focused tomorrow night. Make better than 3 of 33s, and they got a chance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Thanks, Jeff.
We'll be right back. Finally, take a look at Hogle Zoo's newest addition. Isn't she cute? This is Bryce. She's a Hartman's zebra, born April 14th. Mom and baby are doing just fine. As you can, look at that. Isn't that cute?
That's a great picture.
Don't you love that picture right there?
Sweet.
You can see her at the African Savannah exhibit.
Stick around. Quick Cast is next.